Because it is quite sad that we as a people are walking around with so much less information about ourselves. There are companies out there that know how much time we spend on Facebook, what we eat, what we click on, what we buy, and we have zero insight into our own behaviors and why we make the choices we do, which I think is disempowering, and I recommend that you keep watching this video. Hello friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Uchenna and I am your resident mystic. And on today's we'll be talking about shadow work, also known as inner work. Have you always heard people tell you, oh, do shadow work, you got to do the inner work, you got to do the shadow work, and you wondered what that is? If you are ready to declutter and remove and rewrite all the old stories about you and all the injury you are carrying from negative programming, then shadow work, I highly recommend you consider shadow working. Because it is quite sad that we as a people are walking around with so much less information about ourselves. There are companies out there that know how much time we spend on Facebook, what we eat, what we click on, what we buy, and we have zero insight into our own behaviors and why we make the choices we do, which I think is disempowering, and I recommend that you keep watching this video. So what is shadow work? A quick Google search would quickly answer the question, but from my perspective, it is the art, science, and spiritual practice of examining with a microscopic view your programming, which are some of the ideas you have, some of the reasons you do what you do, some of your feelings about some of certain events, and when you address them, then you have the opportunity to rewrite them with the emotions, feelings, and outcomes that you want, so that the current life you're living in this third density is a lot more brighter, a lot more fuller, a lot more beautiful. Now, in my process, which I'll be sharing in this video, it involves visualization. Before we get into that, I'm going to give you the easiest way you can start your shadow work right now, and that is journaling. There are different kinds of journaling and a lot of journaling channels on YouTube that I watch myself to get ideas on what prompts to use, how to write it in the journal so that you are not like making negative things concrete, or the things that you don't want concrete. So what we'll do is I will leave resources in the playlist section of my channel that you can review to get more information about the process, and it's really simple. It's really simple. In this kind of journaling, what you will do is you will get 10 prompts, 10, 15, as many prompts as you need. There's also a link to multiple Pinterest boards on Pinterest that have lots of leading questions that can guide you, provide some kind of framework to the questions that you could be asking yourself to dig deeper into yourself. And once you get those journal prompts, you would want to challenge yourself. Do you want to do this for 7 days? Would you like to do this for 10 days? Would you like to do this for 20 days? Would you like to do this for a month? Consistency is important here, because you're going to go back and you're going to read your responses and why you think that way, and really analyze yourself and come to a new conclusion about yourself and your experiences. Now, like I mentioned, you'll be using a lot of journal prompts to do this. There'll be a lot of questions asking you how you feel about certain events, what makes you feel powerful, what makes you feel weak, how did you respond to a most critical event in your life, how did that shape you for the future. I'm not going to, I will be very forthcoming and let you know that it is a hard process, because you will probably discover some memories which you thought were not important, and then you realize, wow, that really affected me, or you would uncover some things which you swore you never wanted to see again, and it will come back, and then you will have to make a choice of when to address it, when will be the best time to address it. Another method with which you can do your shadow work or inner work would be through a tool known as past life regression. Mind you, past life regression and all those tools are not meant to be used in isolation. You still need to go back and digest the information and come to new conclusions and new patterns. So that is just one step in a series of steps, but you'll find a qualified guide, an Akashic Records reader that can help you with the process, help you go back to critical times in your past life or in this present life and how you were responding to those challenges. Figure out the reason why you incarnated into the earth plane and what you were hoping to achieve, and see if you are achieving it. How many spiritual gifts do you have, and if you are expanding or working or bringing those spiritual gifts to life. These questions can be answered in the hands of a very qualified past life regression therapy teacher, or one who does that, or one who does energy healing. There is one person I saw. I haven't had a session with him, but he has a Facebook page. He does post a little bit of his sessions on Facebook if anyone is interested in seeing that, and if seeing that's something that you would like to pursue. I will leave that in the description box. Now, I promise I'll tell you my own process. My own process is quite simple. I use visualization and I get the aid of my guides. I call them in using the processes in which they want to be called in, because they have their own boundaries and they have their own personalities and they have the way they would like to be approached. I call my spirit guide, and then we both have a brief discussion about the things I'm doing, the things I'm planning, and then we have a meditation session in which my spirit guide guides me in this meditation session, and we look at several parts of my body where I store energy or where I process energy, and see if anything lights up. If anything lights up, we will give it a label, and my spirit guide will ask me what I feel about that topic, and I will answer and keep giving different answers till I feel the higher vibration of the right answer. And when I come to that conclusion, I rewrite that event using visualization, and then that is gone, it's done. What is an example? Yesterday, my spirit guide asked me, what is self-love? I answered, self-love is self-care. Those nice, beautiful platitudes that we see on Instagram. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's very important that you come to your own conclusions. And my spirit guide says to me, that's great, but how do you feel about that answer? And I felt that wasn't vibrating at the highest level that I feel that I can be vibrating. And I kept giving multiple answers till I came to the conclusion, self-love equals evolution. And I came to that conclusion and talked over it with my spirit guide, because the key to loving yourself is that you are making the necessary investment to keep changing yourself into the image of who you are, who you truly are. And that is the best self-love you can give yourself, is to invest in yourself to become that version of you know that you already are. You just have to bring it into this density. I'm looking down because that's my journal, because after I do the visualization techniques, I write everything down. I reread it later. Sorry about the noise. I reread it later, and just to to solidify the messaging of what I got. Okay, now, and my spirit guide also encouraged me to document my evolution, because 10 years from now, when I look at myself in this time, I'm going to see, wow, I made all these investments into my spiritual gifts, made all these investments into my psychology, my energy body, my spirit body, my healing techniques, my mind, my chakras and removing all the energies that doesn't belong to me, like you're gonna be like, wow, look at all the things you did, good job, I love you. And that's the evidence that you have really in this life be putting in the energy to bring your highest self, to embody your highest self in this reality. Now, another example that I'll give you two. My spirit guide asked me, security equals, and I said, of course I said, security equals money. I was like, money is security, because when I have money, I can protect myself, I can get a nice house, I can get a nice car, I can live in a safe neighborhood, eat the foods that are good for my body. And then she asked me, so how do you feel about that answer? And I felt it wasn't high vibrating enough, because then again, the locus of power of control was outside myself, meaning when I have money, you feel safe. When you don't have money, then you feel vulnerable, you feel bad about yourself. And so I was encouraged to keep looking for an answer that vibrates at a higher level. And I came to the conclusion that security is peace of mind and personal responsibility, because peace of mind is internal and it's not dependent on anything outside of me for peace of mind to happen, which puts the power back in my hands. But then there is the added factor of personal responsibility, because just because you have peace of mind doesn't mean that you sleep with your door wide open. You still have to get up, you have to lock the doors, you have to get a feel for your neighbors and your neighborhood. You might need to install a security camera, but you're not from a place of fear. You know that you are safe, but you still close the door. You still careful with your interactions online. Don't give away your location, things of that nature. And I went through this process with my spirit guide for my sacral chakra, for my root chakra. We moved to my sacral chakra. I think we were sitting there I didn't realize we were there for 3 hours, till I was ready to lie down and I heard my phone go off and it was time for my morning meditation. And I was like, well, so I kind of understand when people that are really involved in their spirit journey are, there's my phone, are sometimes they say they've been up all night. Now I understand why. But anyway, that's my little story time. That is my process on how I go through it. I still encourage you to review the links and get some of the journal prompts so you can start from there and make it a consistent process. It's not a one and done thing. See it as how you take a shower every day, how you brush your teeth every day. You have to declutter your mind of all the ideas and pictures and emotions that do not belong to you. You could make it a daily thing. You could make it 10 days, then you take a break, then you go back for another 10 days, or you do it once a month. But make it, I encourage you to make it a regular part of your practice, and you will see that you feel lighter, you feel brighter, and the world never looked brighter. It just looks beautiful every day. I hope this has been able to help you. I hope you really check out the resources, especially in my playlist section of my channel. That's going to be really helpful for you. And until next time, and I see you again, give me a like if you like it, and if you feel inclined that this might help someone, I really appreciate if you shared it. And I will see you next time. I love you. You love you.